And any moment now, President Vicente Fox of Mexico, the former president of Mexico, should be on the phone with us. We're just waiting for something back there. Not sure what. Anyhow, he has a new book out. It's called Let's Move On, Beyond Fear and False Prophets. The website is centrofox, C-E-N-T-R-O, Fox, Fox.org.mx. And you can tweet him at Vicente Fox QUE. Caseta is his actual last name. So, Vicente Fox QUE. So, Arthur, can we put him on the board? Okay, hang on just a second here. There we go. President Fox, welcome to the program.
Oh, Tom, thank you for inviting us. Special hello, America.
It is great to have you with us. You have a new book out. It's called Let's Move On, Beyond Fear and False Prophets. And one of the most fascinating parts of your book was your discussion about the party that preceded you in authoritarianism. And I want to get to that. But first, I'm curious. I know you're an astute observer. I'm a big follower of your Twitter feed. In fact, I've retweeted you many times. You seem to have two Twitter feeds, in fact. And I'm curious, as a politician, a brilliant politician and observer of the American political scene, what are your thoughts on the Democratic Party's response to the shutdown of the government? And what's your advice to the Democratic Party?
At the very end, democracy and balance of power has to do with coming up to agreements. At the very end, it's something that you have to reach. In this case of the United States, it's highly complicated because, for instance, Trump as president is demanding Congress to serve on his plate what he wants. And I think that Congresses should not be either under executive branch. They have to be equal. But Democrats have to be very careful because it's not only what you attain in the case of DACA, but it's also your political position, how it cannot be affected, how can you have a good response from American people and not let Trump come up with wins that are unfair is something that he did not work on. And so Democrats have to be very, very wise. They have to think on the next election and be very careful on the decisions they're taking now.
Yeah, well said. How badly do you think that Donald Trump has damaged the United States and the world?
Too much. And this cannot go on because every action has a reaction. Every decision has consequences. The way he has spoken about Mexico, a solid partner of the United States, a neighbor, is not fair. He's been so aggressive, so offensive, that he has caused already that Mexican public opinion begin to not only apart from him, but to hate him. We don't accept those offenses. And when you see what's going on in the world, the way he spoke about Germans and Germany, the way he spoke about Britain and the British exit from European Union, the way he speaks about Muslims, the way he speaks about anybody that is brown, is very racist and very offensive. So he has caused a lot of harm to the world already. And U.S. People and U.S. nation does not deserve to be represented by him. I think the soul of America, the heart of America, is the heart and soul of the founding fathers. And it's totally different. Their thoughts, their dreams, than Trump is representing. So it's incredible how he can be president of this nation. He's not representing this nation. We all know that abroad. We all know that he is not America, that America is much more than that.
Yeah, you in your book, we're talking with former Mexican President Vicente Fox Quesada. In your new book, Let's Move On, Beyond Fear and False Prophets, the website centrofox.org.mx, you talk about I believe it's called the the PRI, the People's. Well, please tell me what the acronym stands for, and you identified that party as essentially authoritarian. You said they ruled Mexico from 1929 until, I believe, your election.
Yes.
Talk to us about authoritarian governments.
Yes,
what did you learn from that experience?
Yes, because Trump reminds me a lot of that. And free governed Mexico since 1929 up to year 2000. So it was 90 years governed by one single party, authoritarian party. And what happens when you have authoritarian regimes, when your government controls the lives and goods and assets of people and the nation, then you see how corruption comes up. And so that regime ended up very corrupted. But the lesson here is that we in Latin America suffer from this all throughout the 20th century, from these dictators, or in the best of the cases, these demagogic leaders, these populist leaders that promise once and again, that are these false prophets, as I identified Trump, because they don't have the answers. They don't even know how to fix what he has claimed that he will fix. And those false prophets make people believe in them for a time, but pretty soon you find out that all was lies, all was false promises. This is what we suffer in Latin America. So we can see the genius, the DNA of this kind of characters, and Trump fits perfectly on them. He's telling America, don't worry, I'm going to make America great. You citizens that don't have a job, don't worry, I'm going to get a job for you. Those who do not have health care, don't worry, I'm going to give you health care. And so on and on. What happens with that? That people and citizens become dormant. They sit down, drink a beer, and wait for Trump to solve the problems. I think those unemployed in the United States should go to a community college. Those that don't have anymore a job in the carbon industry or manufacturing, go to school, get knowledge, and move to where the action is. Right. The United States has grown its technology jobs by more than 50%. Of course, you have lost manufacturing jobs here. We have lost manufacturing jobs in Mexico. We have lost farmers' jobs in the United States and Mexico, but there's new economy. There are new jobs, but you just have to go to school.
Completely agree.
Read and get knowledge.
Forgive my interruption, President Fox. We only have 40 seconds left until we're going to hit a hard break here. And in those 40 seconds, how did you bring your country back from authoritarianism, and what can we do to do the same?
Well, number one, to get people to wake up and get to think about democracy, to build up a strong democracy. That's what we did in year 2000. And here, I understand that democracy is questioned most everywhere in the world. In a way, democracy is not delivering. My position, my thinking is that we're seeing the newborn of maybe a new way of doing democracy. For instance, elections in the United States. I don't think electoral delegates represent the thinking of the people. I think it's much better to have direct votes like Hillary did. Those are adjustments that have to do. There's balance between executive branch and legislative branch. It has to be balanced and has to be effective, because right now everything is stagnant. Nothing is moving in this nation. There's conflict between parties, between branches of government. And what about development? What about jobs? What about growth? What about